This is a Queensland Narrating Service recording of a new public transport network for the Moreton Bay region, made on behalf of TransLink. Your narrator is Kay Stevenson in November 2013. A simple, more direct network that connects you to your local community. Your handy guide to your new Moreton Bay public transport network, effective from the 20th of January 2014. Contents: Introducing your new public transport network. Getting to know your new network. More frequent train services. Better connections to train services. Consistent departure and journey times. More services where they're needed most and in new areas for the first time. Strengthened local services to key activity centres around the region. Summary of bus changes. How did we arrive at this new bus network? Any questions? A detailed guide to your new public transport network. 310 Brisbane City to Brighton. N310 Brisbane City to Brighton. Route 640 Bribie Island to Caboolture. Route 641 Banksia Beach to Bongaree. Route 642 Bellara to Bongaree. Route 643 Bribie Island to Caboolture. Route 644 Sandstone Point to Bribie Island Park and Ride. Route 649 Caboolture to Nambour, rail bus. Route 651 Caboolture North West to Caboolture Station. Route 652 Caboolture Station to Beachmere. Route 655 Caboolture Station to Caboolture Hospital, TAFE, University. Route 657 Caboolture Station to Caboolture North, Loop. Route 653 Caboolture Station to Morayfield Station. Route 654 Morayfield Station to Caboolture Station. Route 656 Morayfield Station to Upper Caboolture. Route 660 Caboolture Station to Redcliffe. Route 663 Narangba Local Service, Loop. Route 665 Deception Bay Local Service, Loop. Route 668 Deception Bay to Narangba Station. Route 664 Burpengary Local Service, Loop. Route 667 Morayfield Local Service, Loop. Route 669 Warner to Strathpine Shopping Centre via Launton. Route 670 Strathpine Shopping Centre to Warner. Route 671 Strathpine Shopping Centre to Warner via Bray Park. Route 672 Strathpine Shopping Centre to Warner Lakes. Route 673 Joiner to Strathpine Shopping Centre. Route 674 Warner to Strathpine Shopping Centre. Route 675 Petrie Station to Marumba Downs, Loop. Route 676 Petrie Station to Marumba Downs. Route 677 Griffin Heights to Petrie Station. Route 679 Marumba Downs to North Lakes. Route 680 Redcliffe to Chermside. Route 681 North Lakes to Petrie Station via Mango Hill. Route 682 North Lakes to Mango Hill. Route 683 Kalanga to Petrie Station. Route 684 North Lakes to Kalanga. Route 685 Petrie Station to Kalanga. Route 686 French's Forest to Petrie Station. Route 687 North Lakes to Petrie Station. Route 688 North Lakes clockwise loop. Route 689 North Lakes anti-clockwise loop. Route 690 Redcliffe to Sandgate. Route 693 Redcliffe to Kippa-Ring via Woody Point. Route 694 Kippa-Ring to Redcliffe via Woody Point. Route 696 Kippa-Ring to Margate, clockwise loop. Route 697 Kippering to Margate, anti-clockwise loop. Route 695, Rothwell to Sandgate. Route 698, Kippering to Redcliffe via Scarborough. Route 699, Redcliffe to Kippering via Scarborough. Route P315, Brisbane to Redcliffe. Train services on the Shorncliffe, Sunshine Coast and Caboolture lines. South East Queensland Train Network Map. Getting around the Moreton Bay region. How to use your network. Tickets and fares. TransLink's delivery partners in the Moreton Bay region. Bribie Island Coaches, Caboolture Bus Lines, Hornybrook Bus Lines, Kangaroo Bus Lines, Thompson Bus Services, Queensland Rail. Introducing your new public transport network. With new emerging communities and more people travelling around Moreton Bay, the region has experienced a great deal of growth. To ensure your services meet the needs of your growing community, we have worked with you and our delivery partners to create a new network that is easier to use and reflects the current needs of the Moreton Bay community. On the 20th of January 2014, your local bus network will be restructured. A new train timetable with more services will be introduced on the Shorncliffe line, and new services will be added to the Sunshine Coast and Caboolture lines. This new public transport network will provide improved reliability and better integration between buses and trains to support local travel patterns. Getting to know your new network. There are plenty of exciting changes and improvements to this new network. Some of the highlights include more frequent train services, better connections between buses and trains, consistent departure and journey times, more services where they're needed most and in new areas for the first time, strengthened local services to key activity centres around the region. More frequent train services. On Monday, the 20th of January 2014, a new timetable will be introduced on the Shorncliffe line to deliver an improved public transport network. You asked for more frequent and consistent services with more available seating. We are delivering. This means improved service frequency with trains every 15 minutes in the morning and afternoon peaks and all day between Northgate and Brisbane City on weekdays. 30-minute off-peak departures at all other stations and on weekends. 146 additional services each week, including 3 extra services in the morning peak and 4 extra services in the afternoon peak. An overhauled and simplified timetable with the removal of 2 express services in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. This means we can add extra peak services where they're needed most and reduce train congestion on the Shorncliffe line. A consistent journey time of 37 minutes between Shorncliffe and Central stations. Most Shorncliffe line services will continue through to either Cleveland, Manly or Cannon Hill stations, providing a 1-seat journey to South Brisbane and Southbank stations. The new train timetable is available at translink.com.au and at Shorncliffe line stations. On Monday, the 20th of January, new services will also be added to the Sunshine Coast and Caboolture lines to improve the frequency and efficiency of the city network. At the same time, minor timetable changes will be made to some outbound Gympie North and Caboolture services. 2 new peak express services will run on the Sunshine Coast line between Nambour and Brisbane City. On the Caboolture line, 2 new afternoon express services will be introduced. These services run express from Northgate to Petrie, then stop all stations to Caboolture. For details, visit translink.com.au. Better connections to train services. In early 2013, you told us that you'd like to see improved connections between bus and train services. We've taken on board your comments and strengthened these connections by adding additional trips during weekdays. We've improved the timing and reliability of bus timetables to ensure you have enough time to make your connecting train service at Caboolture, Morayfield, Narangba, Burpengary, Petrie, Launton, Bray Park and Strathpine stations on the Caboolture line, as well as Sandgate station on the Shorncliffe line. On routes 640, 651, 669, 686, 687 and 690, we've also added services to connect to more trains at local stations. This means more services and less time waiting for your bus or train. We've improved bus timetables to allow more time between buses arriving at the train station and trains departing, and more time between trains arriving at the station and connecting buses departing. Transfer times will vary slightly between services. We aim to allow at least 5 minutes for transfers between train and bus services. Check your timetable for details. If you're connecting to train services at a local station, you can take advantage of the following improvements. Route 640 will offer additional morning and evening commuter peak services to and from Caboolture Station to improve seating capacity. Route 651 will offer improved frequency, half-hourly, with additional trips, and will also provide improved connections to local train services at Caboolture Station. Route 663 and 668 will offer more reliable connections to train services at Narangba Station and consistent stopping patterns, with on-request services now running at full service. Route 669 will become a permanent service with additional weekday morning and evening trips, offering improved connections to train services at Launton Station. Route 674 will provide a more direct connection to Launton Station from Strathpine and Warner. Route 683 has been modified to provide a more reliable connection to Petrie Station. Route 685 will now service the area west of Old Gympie Road, providing better connectivity with all-day direct services to Petrie Station. Route 686 will offer new morning and afternoon weekday commuter services to Petrie Station from the Frenchs Forest area. Route 687 will provide improved connections with train services at Petrie Station for North Lakes commuters. It will also offer improved capacity and options for afternoon peak travellers, with the addition of a new weekday afternoon peak service from Petrie Station at 4:25 p.m. Routes 690 and 695 will offer more reliable and consistent train connections for passengers at Sandgate Station in line with the new train timetable. Caboolture North residents will also benefit from a new service, Route 657, which will travel from Caboolture Station along Beerburrum Road and Pumice-Stone Road into the new residential areas of Caboolture North before returning to the station. For details on train services, visit translink.com.au. Consistent departure and journey times. We've addressed on-time running issues with timetable changes to more than a quarter of all routes on the network. The new timetables better reflect current traffic conditions and will provide you better reliability. Routes 661 and 678 will be removed due to low patronage. This allows us to redirect these resources to improve the wider network by allocating services to areas of greater demand. By removing services and adjusting timetables, including increasing the frequency of popular services, buses will be more on time, more often, and you will spend less time waiting for your bus. We've also allowed for more consistent stopping patterns and guarantee buses will run at full service, removing the on-request services. For a list of on-request services, listen to Summary of Bus Changes. This means you can be confident that your bus will stop at your local bus stop at the same time, every time. Changes for each bus route, including route changes, days, hours of operation and service frequencies, are summarised in the following pages of this booklet. More services where they're needed most and in new areas for the first time. For the first time, Caboolture North residents will have a bus service. Route 657 will service the developing residential area in Caboolture North along Pumice-Stone Road and Jensen Road. This local route will operate from approximately 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at an hourly frequency on weekdays. Other changes and extensions to services: Route 640 will be extended to service North Woorham. Route 641 will now service the Jasmine Drive, Protea Drive and the Cotterill Avenue Loop. Route 651 around Caboolture's northwest will be extended to service Market Drive for the first time. Route 669 will be modified to service Warner and new areas of Bray Park. Route 673 will be modified along Francis Road to provide more direct services. Route 679 will be extended into Marumba Downs, providing residents with a one-seat journey to North Lakes. Route 682 will change to better service Halpine Lakes and Old Mango Hill areas. Route 686 will change to provide Frenchs Forest residents with better connections to trains. Routes 688 and 689 will be extended to service Aurora Boulevard. Route 690 will change around Northern Scarborough to improve reliability and connections to train services. Route 684 and 685 will now service the east and west of Old Gympie Road through Kalanga with more direct services. Route 698 and 699 are new services for residents of Newport travelling from Redcliffe, providing access to the wider network. We're also improving the frequency of services to emerging communities and on key corridors. Route 640 will offer additional morning and evening commuter peak services to and from Caboolture Station to improve seating capacity. Route 651 will offer improved frequency, half-hourly, with additional trips. Additional weekday morning and evening trips on Route 669 will offer improved connections to train services at Launton Station. Route 686 will offer new morning and afternoon weekday commuter services to Petrie Station from the Frenchs Forest area. Route 687 will offer improved capacity and options for afternoon peak travellers with the addition of one weekday afternoon peak service from Petrie Station at 4:25 p.m. Route 690 will offer better service frequency on weekdays. Routes 661 and 678 will be removed due to low passenger demand and allow resources to be allocated to areas of greater demand, including key corridors. We've also designed the new network to accommodate the future Moreton Bay rail link, which is planned to be operational by late 2016. Bus services will be reviewed upon completion of the Moreton Bay rail link to ensure effective integration between bus and train services. Strengthened local services to key activity centres around the region. We have included more direct services on key routes, including Route 640, additional peak services added to reduce overcrowding between Bribie Island and Caboolture Station. Route 651, half-hourly frequency to connect to Caboolture Station, Morayfield Shopping Centre and Morayfield Station. Route 673, modified along Francis Road to provide more direct services to key activity centres between Launton and Strathpine. Routes 684, 685. Route 684 has been split into two routes, 684, 685, to service the east and west sides of Old Gympie Road, providing more direct services to North Lakes and Petrie Station. Routes 688, 689, extended from Bounty Boulevard to Aurora Boulevard and will service the North Lakes Medical Centre, offering better clockwise and anti-clockwise connections to other bus services and Westfield North Lakes Shopping Centre. Route 679, one-seat connection between Marumba Downs and North Lakes. Summary of bus changes. Type of change and routes. New routes 657, 685, 698, 699. Timetable changes. P315, 640, 641, 642, 643, 644, 651, 652, 653, 654, 655, 656, 663, 664, 665, 667, 668, 669, 670, 671, 672, 673, 674, 676, 677, 679, 680, 681, 682, 683, 684, 686, 687, 688, 689, 690, 695. Route alignment change or extension. 640, 641, 642, 644, 651, 669, 673, 674, 676, 679, 680, 681, 682, 683, 684, 686, 688, 689, 690. Additional services en route. 640, 651, 669, 684, 685, 686, 687, 690. Trial service to run permanently. 669. Bus stop removed. 641, 661, 674, 678, 681, 684. Servicing new stops. P315, 640, 651, 655, 657, 669, 671, 672, 673, 674, 679, 683, 684, 685, 688, 689, 698, 699. Reduced hours of operation due to low patronage. 641, 642, 643, 644, 651, 652, 653, 654, 655, 656, 670, 671, 672, 673, 674, 676, 679, 682, 686. Route removed due to low patronage. 661. Alternative is to catch Route 660 from Deception Bay with a transfer to Route 680 on Avenue to get to Westfield North Lake Shopping Centre. 678. Alternative is to use route 669, 670, 671, 672 or 674 from Warner Village Shopping Centre. On request services to run at full service: 663, 664, 665, 667, 668. Prepaid service to speed up boarding times and improve service reliability: P315. You will need a valid paper ticket or Go card prior to boarding this service. No changes: 649, 660, 675, 693, 694, 696, 697. How did we arrive at this new bus network? On the 24th of July 2012, the Minister for Transport and Main Roads, TMR, announced a review of the South East Queensland SEQ bus network to improve service reliability, affordability and frequency. The review aimed to remove service duplication, manage infrastructure capacity, get more people on public transport by simplifying the network, get better connectivity between services and modes, redirect resources to routes where there is overcrowding. Since then, we've analysed travel data for every bus route in SEQ, worked with our delivery partners to understand what is happening on the ground, and sought your feedback over 3 stages of passenger participation. The first stage was undertaken from the 10th to the 23rd of September 2012. The second stage ran from the 3rd to the 16th of December 2012, and the third stage from the 11th of March to the 6th of April 2013. Opportunities for the community to contribute involved a dedicated page on the TransLink website, various online surveys with regard to specific service change proposals, customer liaison officers on the network encouraging people to provide feedback online or by contacting TransLink, flyers, signage and media releases. Approximately 20,000 responses were received over the 3 stages. What you told us. We received a total of 262 pieces of feedback on the proposed Moreton Bay changes, which equates to approximately 1.7% of the total feedback received across SEQ. Not all bus routes received feedback. Of the feedback we did receive, most comments related to Route 680. Some of the key themes you raised about your current bus network included improved bus-train connections and transfers between services, a more customer-friendly, more direct network. As a result, we've taken on board your feedback with our analysis of the current network to deliver a new and improved bus network for Moreton Bay. We would like to thank you for your suggestions, feedback and ideas, all of which have helped to shape your new network. We understand your community will continue to grow and change, which is why we are committed to undertaking regular reviews of your bus network to monitor its effectiveness and identify areas for improvement. Any questions? We understand you might have a few questions about your new bus network and connecting trains, so we've listed some frequently asked questions below. If you have a different question, please feel free to call 131230 anytime. Why have you designed the bus network this way? When we plan a bus network, we take into account a lot of things, including population, community travel needs, opportunities for network connectivity, bus stop placement, accessibility, traffic conditions and budget, to name a few. We take all of these elements into consideration, and within the known constraints, we try to find the best possible solution for our customers. In this particular instance, we were driven to design a network that met as many of the community's needs as possible, while delivering Queensland Government priorities. After detailed analysis of passenger feedback and travel data, we incorporated these findings into the new network by strengthening services, increasing frequency and reliability through timetable changes, removing route duplication to improve the efficiency of the network, altering service timetables to provide better connections to train services, redesigning sections of services to maximise their ability to operate efficiently and reliably, extending the coverage of the network to provide improved services to emerging and developing areas of the community, providing more convenient opportunities for passengers to transfer between modes. This new design responds to both community feedback and existing network issues to provide a sustainable bus network that will support new infrastructure and the growing transport needs of the community. When can I get a copy of my new bus timetable? You'll be able to grab a copy by visiting translink.com.au from late December 2013, on board your bus from the 20th of January 2014, by visiting your local library or tourist information centre, by calling 131230 and getting one sent out to you. Will school buses be impacted? This review focused on urban services. However, there may be some changes to school services being made by operators separate to this review. Please contact your operator for further information. Will there be changes to trains at my local train station? On Monday the 20th of January 2014, a new timetable will be introduced on the Shorncliffe line. Minor changes will also be made on the Caboolture and Sunshine Coast lines. For details, visit translink.com.au.